All right, Saagar, what's on your radar?
Well, last night it was the vice presidential debate. Too bad that nobody cares, as usual, right? I mean, let's be honest here. It's not going to move the needle in any way whatsoever. But I want to take a moment just to relay this. Look, both of these people could be one heartbeat away from the presidency. There was a question actually at the top where Susan Page, the moderator, asked both candidates, no matter who is elected, they will be the oldest president of the United States ever. Have you ever had a discussion with either of your running mates about what's going to happen if they die? Guess what? They both dodged the question. And that's actually the only salient one about why they were gathered there yesterday. So look, we need to remember, we've had many times in our history where vice presidents have ended up becoming very important very quickly, one heartbeat away from the presidency, and what they believe really matters. Now look, both of these people are highly conventional, trained politicians. Pence, unflappable. You could throw anything at the man. Kamala, T-shirt ready slogans all day long. What we saw, though, however, is that on balance, even though I think personally Vice President Pence won the debate, I mean, I'm probably biased because I have a particular grading sensibility whenever it comes to Kamala Harris, is that electorally, there were some major missed opportunities for the vice president. In particular, doubling down on the optimistic economic recovery message, which just does not land in the middle of a massive economic depression. This is what he went with.
They have a $2 trillion version of the Green New Deal, Susan, that your newspaper, USA Today, said really wasn't that very different from the original Green New Deal. More taxes, more regulation, banning fracking, abolishing fossil fuel, crushing American energy, and economic surrender to China is a prescription for economic decline. President Trump and I will keep America growing. The V-shaped recovery that's underway right now will continue with 4 more years of President Donald Trump.
This is fundamentally just does not match with the lived realities of the majority of Americans. Only the top 25% of Americans are doing better than they were before coronavirus. The rest of the country is not. There's no unemployment. There's no stimulus checks. The situation is dire for literally tens of millions. And it would have behooved the vice president to spoken to that pain and to say, these are the things that we're trying to do. But let's be honest, it's been a pretty dismal failure on a policy front. And maybe spin is the best that you can come up with. But on the whole, I can't help but see how Kamala Harris said everything she needed to say last night to be destroyed. This is a neoliberal shapeshifter. This is a woman who believes nothing except for the accumulation of power. And to the extent that she does that, she aligns herself with the worst power centers in America. I'll tell you what I would have attacked Kamala Harris for, okay, if I was up there on that stage. I could barely believe my ears when she was touting her economic plan for the country, her and Biden, and she cited Moody's analytics firm from Wall Street as one of the reasons that it is good. Let's take a listen.
Joe Biden's economic plan, Moody's, which is a reputable Wall Street firm, has said will create 7 million more jobs than Donald Trump's. And part of those jobs that will be created by Joe Biden are going to be about clean energy and renewable energy.
This is the same Moody's that rated subprime mortgage bonds in 2008, defrauded the American public, and set up the massive financial scheme that led to the collapse in 2008. That's the Wall Street firm that Kamala Harris is citing there about her supposed economic plan about makes Joe Biden better. And once again, she's actually citing the fact that Wall Street wants Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to win. It's an open secret. Goldman Sachs even puts it out in bulletins to their investors about how Biden-Harris administration is going to be better for stocks. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. This is somebody beloved and in the pockets of Wall Street. And if that doesn't make anything worse, she cites and goes ahead the Russian bounty story and the obviously BS Atlantic story. And what does she go with? Whenever she's asked about the coalition that she's put together, she says, I'm so proud of the coalition. Now, I'm thinking she'll probably talk about suburban women. She'll probably talk about working class people. No. She brags about George W. Bush cabinet members, neocons like Colin Powell, and other Iraq war-beating people. Let's take a listen.
I'll tell you, Joe and I are, I think, particularly proud of the coalition that we've built around our campaign. We probably have one of the broadest coalitions of folks that you've ever seen in a presidential race. Of course, we have the support of Democrats, but also independents and Republicans. In fact, 7 members of President George W. Bush's cabinet are supporting our ticket. We have the support of Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, over 500 generals, retired generals, and former national security experts and advisors are supporting our campaign.
Who brags about being supported by the people who led us falsely into war and destroyed this country and many other in the Middle East? That's the person. That's the person who venerates these people in the pockets of Wall Street, beloved by the neocons. That's all you needed. That's what like Trump 2016 would have gone after. Pence basically just let it slide, and it's one of the greatest reasons that exists not to support that ticket, but we didn't hear a peep about it. I mean, Crystal, can you imagine bragging about how you have the support of 7 George? Why would you say that? He's the only person less popular than Donald Trump is Bush, okay?
7 members of the George W. Bush cabinet, Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, everyone was like, oh, no.
Like I said, when she said the coalition thing, I was like,
okay.
We're about to, suburban women, we got suburban moms for Kamala and Biden, we've got these working class. I would talk about union workers who felt betrayed.
George W. Bush.
Bush cabinet. Colin Powell, who lied to the public and to the world about WMD in Iraq, and then 500 retired generals who I bet just love having troops in Afghanistan.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing on the Trump-Pence side is like, what's his line of attack? They've touted this idea that Kamala is actually more liberal than Bernie Sanders, which no one believes. And they certainly don't believe that Joe Biden is going to be more liberal than Bernie Sanders. Like, people just don't buy it. The key to an effective attack is it has to ring true. There has to be some essential grain of truth that, you can take it and stretch it and expand it and caricature it. You can take it from there. But the initial, core insight has to land in some way. Kamala is a tool of Wall Street and Silicon Valley. That lands.
Yes.
Because it's true.
What would she say? I don't think she would have anything to say to that.
This is not even speculation or us being gratuitous or whatever. The reporting from the New York Times is that a big part of why they were excited about her for the ticket is because how much donors love her.
Exactly.
There's reporting at CNBC that Joe was consulting with his Wall Street donors about who he should pick as VP. Guess who they loved? Kamala Harris. Guess who always cleaned up those Hamptons fundraisers, back in the day when we could do such things? Kamala Harris, always a favorite. Look at her relationship with Silicon Valley. She was Attorney General of California at a time that was crucial in terms of these tech giants becoming behemoths that control every aspect of our society and news flow, and all of that disaster was unfolding in California at the time when she was Attorney General and could have done something to check their power. She did nothing. She could have prosecuted Steve Mnuchin and his bank for foreclosure fraud, something that David Dayen, who we've had on the show, writes about. She didn't do it. So, and Biden, of course, you can tell a very similar story, the senator from MBNA, that would have landed. Biden and Harris are going to usher in radical leftism. My God, I wish it was true. It's not, and no one buys it. And so they just are so attached to this, and it has not only not landed, it has actually backfired and led to both Kamala and Joe's favorability ratings increasing.
Yeah, which is insane, right? I mean, these are some of the most unlikable people that exist. And you can see that with Kamala, she had the gall to claim that she prosecuted big banks last night. And of course, this is one of those things where somebody
really
like me, I'm like, that is a lie. Call it out, you know? But Pence, Trump,
Pence can't be like, you should have gone after Steve Mnuchin.
But that's the thing,
that
right?
would be uncomfortable for him.
That's always the issue, is that if you get into bed with these people and you start playing around in the muck, then you've got nothing actually true to fling, and everybody just starts spewing BS, either lies or just annoying talk. I mean, I think Pence hit her for the Biden plagiarism scandal. I was like, dude, nobody gives a shit about Biden plagiarism
right now.
It was
so practiced, too.
And I'm not saying it isn't important or wasn't in 1988, but nobody cares. They just don't care right now.
I mean,
and you got to find a place where it cares.
Very quaint.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm like, wow,
to
my
what
God.
we're going on now. And I don't even know if a lot of people would like totally get that reference. To be
I only know it because I work in politics. Most people have no idea what he's talking about.
It was a long time ago. No, and he was trying from the very beginning to get like Green New Deal shots in there and all of this. And it's so simple for Kamala to respond because she's just like, Joe doesn't back the Green New Deal. He said it repeatedly. No, he does not want to ban fracking. He said it repeatedly. It's very easy for her to parry those attacks. So, yeah, not a lot of point scorers on the board for Pence, even though there were plenty of opportunities to do so.
Yeah.
Next on Rising, Washington Post economics reporter Jeffrey Stein brings us up to speed on whether there is any chance remaining of stimulus negotiations. Not looking good, and also give us an update on the breaking jobs numbers that just came out this morning. That when Rising returns.